Well, the bar's set, right? Our expectations are noted. Historically, this has been a G2 favored matchup. You know, out of, I think it's the 8 times they've met, only 2 of them have gone in favor to Guild, and one of those I think was a best of 1, but they have had close games and they are the ones perpetually meeting, so very aware of each other, and it's always eyes now towards that new addition, right? Mary coming in, big shoes to fill once, obviously, with Zaz there, which, again, a tough position to walk into, and you look at Cinnamon here, you know, Klaudia known historically, rolling back the years, and even coming into this matchup, and both these teams coming through this haven't dropped a single map, and no opponents have made it even to double digits against them. They are both in great form. Now we get to see that little difference, right, between first and potentially second. Nice little underhand flash, Mary deciding against swinging it, and backs away.
Yeah, very likely a preview of a finals matchup to come a little bit later on. So a chance for Guild to sort of build some faith here that they can stand toe-to-toe with G2. You know, even though finals have gone 3-0, 3-1 very often, the individual matches have always been close between these two teams. And well, with 30 seconds on the clock, Guild are certainly taking their time here. The test around mid didn't really work for them, but so often with these no duelist, no dive comps, it's about splitting your way into a site, but they're just going 5 through market with 20 seconds left to go and into a Killjoy.
Yeah, that's the one issue, that they're down to 14 seconds. They haven't been able to clear towards the site at all, giving away the game slightly because of that KJ turret, forcing them to show Petra in combination with Mimi. It's a shutdown. It's just a categoric shutdown. Ness can farm it up, but it will not change the outcome. And again, you got to always look towards Mimi being the safest pair of hands you're going to get. So much.
Absolutely lock down that B site, and I think we're going to see that be some problems for Guild here when it comes towards hitting that B site, dealing with the Killjoy, clearing that early in rounds, because the only other option is you have a KO knife, and if that's not hitting, you are absolutely in dire straits going into B.
Juliano, straight up farming. Roll your mind back to the Counter-Strike days. You've seen her with the scopes in hand, always comfy, and cleaned up. 5 alive, no threats, no stress. Fine. And with Killjoy there, they can just buy the time and soak it towards site hits. But already a little bit of a mid-exploration looks like coming down, and Juliano happy to take an early fight here, happy to take a risk.
Yeah, and again, if you're able to lock it down so only Guild have to go in through either A or B main, that simplifies the round so much for you with this early space or the high-low with the KO and Juliano holding down underneath. Make things a little easier. You can see some early presses from Mimi outside of B main, and if you catch a good timing, that's all of a sudden a rifle in hand. That's you pinching 3 players through mid potentially, and Guild being entirely locked down. But we're now 40 seconds into the round. Guild haven't tested mid just yet, so again, it's going to turn into a much slower site hit where I believe they end up splitting in through this A site with Ness lurking over towards A main.
There. Now that's one big benefit though. The Mimi gets caught that they can do that late lean back towards B, but they would still have to cross past middle, and they have no idea that Juliano's
This is awkward.
They've made no noise until then. So Juliano, what can you do with this? Oh, the timing! She's only gonna get 1. The potential for more was there, but only a little bit of chip damage. The 35 seconds now, they do need to make their way back towards that B side. They know it's free. They got that pick towards Mimi early on. They know that they found Petra, and Juliano gone from mid. Easy information to be gathered that that site is wide open. Now, how much more damage can be done? Mary does have that rifle. Let's see if they can maybe chip away at them. Obviously, for Guild, though, you want to keep 3 alive. Name of the game, a bare minimum 3 still standing.
Sure, and you know, aNNja and Cinnamon can say thank you very much to Smurfette, who just absolutely saved their lives from Juliano playing underneath
CT?
Cat.
And I got a little nervous then. I didn't love the concept of 3 of them sat towards CT when Mary still got that rifle, but they worked it out. They're fine. They got full standing. We're good. We got a game. We got a game ender.
They're carving them up. 3 kills there for aNNja. Again, the sort of the main and no real pressure towards mid. These rounds are going to stall out, and I think that's going to pose some problems for them if they're not finding some of those picks with the...
But I'm liking this. Proactive on both sides of the map. A little risky. But again, Guild had already crossed a player through. Ness was there so early on, gets the punish on both. And in the meantime, they got the pick towards the operator that was pushing out towards B. That was Juliano. So really, Guild across the board succeeding here. And this is the first big round. Rifles on both sides. So a critical round for G2, for example. And for Guild, this looks like it's a perfect way to get that scoreline tied or even. Spike should go down uncontested. No ults to really deny that. A couple of shock darts, sure, but that's about all she wrote. Now again, Mimi can eventually make it here, but already Smurfette's looking that way. Slow can go up towards heaven. There's no real ways back in here unless obviously Mimi goes on some mad tear, but I think they've realized keeping those rifles is way more valuable right now.
100%. I think you keep the rifles. Mimi, maybe she's able to farm an orb next round, or more than likely, like if she gets a kill, that opens up the option for a retake play, or you can just save it for the next, depending on how things end up going. Does look like Petra was able to recover that operator over towards B main, so all easy for them. I was like trying to figure out, did the stream just freeze or something? But no, Mimi is just staring into wall. No, it is a bit of a freeze. Okay. I see. I saw her turret recharge, and I was like, hey, maybe. But no, we're all good. We'll take a break. Maybe we got paranoid.
That's it.
That's what happened.
That's the one. I mean, it's rough out here. Hopefully, I'll hit them with the first name. But we are back underway, so thank you for your patience. Hopefully, none of that will occur again. But knowing us, probably will. But as it stood, this was the buy that had that saved over operator, one rifle still in hand, and then kind of buying to about 1.5, 1k. So sheriffs and a light armor or two. So again, for Guild, probably name of the game here is to find where that operator is and ideally avoid it.
And they've got the scouting to do it, working up through mid now, past the smoke. For a second, Mimi was jump peeking from back on Fountain, ended up giving that one up. So now it's just Juliano playing here, holding that op angle, comfortable with the smoke out that no one's going to be in B main. But you can see sort of having to test the different angles right now as she's got a sheriff in Petra's hand over towards stairs. That's all that's holding it. It's not going to get that initial angle. So operator is down, and now that B site basically wide open. Only Petra to hold it down, and she's not long for the world.
I mean, that was perfect. They found where the operator was. Not exactly a huge stretch of the imagination, but they got it done, removed it quickly, wasn't able to find any impact from it. Now, Mimi is still standing with that rifle, so they've dealt with one of the threats. There was two. Now, with Mary doubling in, and that should have been, looked like a freebie there for Glance, but not to be. Smurfette in a little bit of danger. And Roxy there as well, so they're trying to pressure this. A little risque for me with no flash to really set it into motion, but they're going to catch him off guard. So Glance goes down, but again, the spike pushed this. It's so risky to do this.
That's a wild push. And look at that wall too, so deep towards CT. Now, Mimi does have the ult if she wants to use it, but they have to get past this meat grinder of Smurfette and Ness. Good shots there. And that's going to lock up this round. Mimi not going to want to invest that ultimate. And yeah, it turns to the right. Smurfette locks it down. Guild are going to take that one. The risky push, it pays off.
And you're kind of a little screwed, but for now it looks towards ult progress as well. Fantastic work from Guild here. Smurfette one away, Roxy two off, one off for Ness, and aNNja's got theirs on. Klaudia a little further off, but that's fine. And on the other side, still a little far away. Juliano probably going to get hers this round. Mimi already had it online, had it in the prior round, but the other's still a little way off. So again, it looks like Guild are really trying to pressure towards middle here. So Mimi adjusting towards this, going to be sitting towards top mid. Prowler goes through, and Juliano going to receive the first bit of real contact.
That's actually one of the reasons why I like Fade compared to like a Sova on this map. Sova obviously still very strong, but having the double Prowlers and the ability to like move with the Prowlers too lets her take some space up mid on her own. Immediately going to be giving it up as the rest of the team works in over towards Tree. But this is a nasty setup from G2. You have to get past both Glance and Mary. Double flashes on Mary as well. And a one-way here makes it almost impossible to work through.
Okay. Gozen. I'm gonna wait to see how this set up on site. You've got kind of heaven and site set up here. Mary could have a great swing on this. Just doesn't land the shot. Overwhelmed Guild. Perfect entries between Cinnamon and aNNja. It's gorgeous. The plant can come down. Juliano can only do so much, and there was a little bit of an offset of timing. No one there to really capitalize on the attention drawn to her. So now already Mimi outdone by Roxy. Guild are firing on this. They look mechanically sharp already. They're looking solid. This is their map choice, but considering that Pearl got floated, and that's something that Des did kind of allude to, this does change things unless Petra's going to have a round. Now, again, does she work out where that secondary player is? It's a fair assessment to consider this towards Wine, but noting where Roxy is, Roxy already down on 30. Petra needs to get a wiggle on, though. In the dungeon, a tap on the spike and the one-way smoke to be a problem. Still consideration made, but she would have to have closed down on Nessa by now. She knows it. The time's run a little too late, but again, always a threat with Petra, but not able to really actualize it this round. But I've got to say it, aNNja. Guild are looking really, on the money today. Some risky choices here, some little moments here. Again, that spike pushing into market is still just like dug into.
Out of Guild so far, although we haven't really seen them test this B site much, too heavily early in these rounds. That's pistol. We'll see what they can do, because they're just going up, underneath, and over. Mimi with 2 sheriff kills.
Hey, look, we pointed out that no one really was able to capitalize off Juliano's positioning before. This time, Mimi's like, all right, I got you. I'm going to swing through main. You just pop up, forcing out the res, and you're now back on the feet. And now we look towards the Albion pop. This should be big. I'm seeing tags, and there's the frag. Petra's going to put Roxy in the body bag, and they're still making a real round out of this. Now, the weapon's not quite comfortably recoverable, as it would be Glance and Mary who'd have to get them over towards the A site, and the weapons are left towards main, as you can see. But still, these 3 players, what do we have? Ness has ult to play with. Klaudia one off hers, but again, utility running low. aNNja would have to be the one to really propel this forward, be the catalyst to the start of this round now, as it's getting down to about 45 seconds. Already you're going to see Nade go in, force Juliano a little bit deeper. You're going to have to smoke towards CT. Guild have to make something happen here, because you can already see it. G2 sitting in deep, no over rotations, but now they should pull that rotation plug.
30 seconds left.
If they wanted to. Mimi just dancing on dice right now. Is look at Ness going all the way up lane. Petra gets a couple of kills, make it a 3rd as well. And Ness is just completely trapped in her own smoke. A flawless round from G2, the knives, and Mimi.
Now, Guild again, though, we've seen a couple of the ults come in there. Roxy invested hers. I think we saw aNNja with hers a couple of rounds ago. So they still have 3 to play with here. So Smurfette could break that out if she fancies it. Klaudia as well. We do see a triple stack towards tree, and look how deep the others are sitting. Petra kind of top mid, having, I think it's just jump spotting at the moment, but then as well, Mimi super deep towards CTs. So
yeah, this has been the default from Guild most rounds, where it's 4A main, maybe a jump peek from top mid, and then Smurfette just locking down any B main pushes. And I like that G2 have cooled it down with the A and B main aggression. They fell victim to that a couple of times, instead playing much more for this tree room control. They can play offside as well, right? If they get smoked off, if the door gets closed, you just wait, because you have that Killjoy ult for the retake. That's the idea behind G2 playing so heavily for tree control. You stop the splits into sight, and then you have that area on lockdown for the lockdown itself. Yet Guild, stalling out just a little bit, still playing towards a main, but it's literally just Roxy that's walking down cat in the tree, so very unlikely that this works out.
But Roxy is mechanically a nasty little player. Like, if she starts heating up here, big information though, that's 3 players potentially noted as well.
She gets 2!
There it is! Roxy, there's the impact player we know, in combination with the Fade ult coming in as well. They had no idea Roxy's positioning, her presence coming in. The timing was great from Guild, utilizing those ults perfectly, noting that Klaudia had it early, that late lurk up towards Cat, but now the retake. Mimi still has that ult, but no real chance to use it. Good trades, though. It's a 2v3. Now Mimi shut down, but surely a big read from this. Can Glance make anything of it, though? Not much to play with. Actually, tell a lie. Had a smoke or 2, but Guild really well constructed on that site hit, and that lurk through Cat. That was actually, you've got to feel like Guild will surely will crack that G2, shell. But maybe today's the day. Maybe not. Who knows? For all we know, as it starts, 1 shot comes through Cat. Instantly, Julian's on the rotate. You can see Smurfette has read that like a book. Tries to get there, tries to beat it, but the slow orb is perfect. Just denies it, the wall goes up, and now they're looking to try and maybe pressure towards that B site after noting Juliano all the way towards A.
It's a bit of a fake, right? Leave Smurfette here in market, then work over towards A, so you have this really late potential lurk, either when the Sage Wall drops or potentially going all the way through B site. It gives you another option here for attacking the site, but first they have to clear aNNja or Mary over in this corner with Glance as well. That's going to be 2 kills out of Glance, the flash and the swing too. The molly, it's just all shut down for Guild.
And they're depending on Smurfette to find something, needs to break into this round, and maybe actually found a bit of a timing on towards this one. Petra definitely seen the bow. So Smurfette can find some impact off the back of this, and they could be ready for this A piece, but look at Mimi on the other side. Already pressured through by B main. An instant trade out, right? It's like as soon as you try to take some space, Mimi's doing the same thing. Such a great KJ player, always proactive, always knows what's up. The double stack on short is going to stand here. They're guarding that spike, but like, their life depends on it. Now with Smurfette finding some impact towards Glance, that could weaken the hold, but 20 seconds, and it's still a 2v3.
Haven't seen this Mimi push in a long time. Mimi is there, locks it down, just Roxy left. And hey, this cat area has been a problem for Guild all round. G2 are going to clean it up and win that one out. But I have to say, I love that play from Guild. This little known team called G2 Gozen in a game changer final. And that went 15-13. So a very tight matchup. But already you can see having new ideas here to go toe-to-toe with G2.
And it looks like a repeat from the last round, right? But this timing is a little different. The slow orb dissipates earlier, so Juliano wants to fight on this, and that shot looked on, I'm going to be honest, maybe through the legs, but the wall goes up nonetheless, and let's see what the adjustment is. They still want that fight on Cat. It is looking like a run it back end, and this is looking like the same round twice, but this time G2 sitting a little deeper towards Tree.
See Juliano rotating back over towards A, so they're reading, hey, this is the fake B split, they're working in towards A, and it is. It's sort of the double fake from Guild as they actually go into the play one more time. This time, though, they carve glance out of Tree.
And Mary's none the wiser as to how many players have just crossed. Maybe make a guess, and the knife should help that out. And again, Juliano, these shots are looking on the money, and they're just not there. Cinnamon outdoes her, and already with the spike planted, it's a 3v5. I mean, and the push bomb's good. They've still got like a nice amount of mid control, all gonna funnel forward. Is that a double stack towards Hell? I think it is. A little flash ready as well. One on the other side. Hopefully someone turned it. They didn't, but it's fine. Trades out enough. So Petra and Mimi both working back in through Tree. Yeah, not really finding much here. Guild just taking their time, really. They don't have to do too much. Smurfette gonna try and maybe hunt these guns away. That could be pretty valuable, looking at the money that's on Petra, for example. Roxy missing the shot, but again, Mimi with the punish. And the double swing. G2 are pretty much out of there. They shouldn't be able to be shot down by now. So, all good. No harm, no foul. But for Guild, again, if
playing 2 Hell, playing 3 Tree, because there's a lockdown, giving Mimi no chance to use it. She's had that ult since round 4. Mimi got a lot of early kills that let her get that early ult. She has not had any opportunity to use it, and that is because of how Guild have worked that tree, whether it was the late lurk from Roxy or the triple hold.
They're walking cat. That's so dangerous. Roxy caught completely unawares, and they've got the spike. To add insult to injury, they got everything they wanted. Now they should be able to read that Smurfette has been lurking on that B side. Mimi's been punished by it before. They've been noting it with Juliano pushing up mid. Yep. Now let's see if they're really aware, though. That fight towards CT is going to be huge. Excuse me, T, Smurfette. This is dangerous. They managed to get the spike with the TP coming in. So that was a really nice approach from Ness. Quickly gathers the spike, at least going to get that towards side. Actually trying to take space towards Tree. A little too risky for me on towards that one. Mary going to capitalize off the back of the flash and take things back. And now it's all on aNNja. Not a comfortable position to be in. And G2, that one walk on Cat set everything into motion.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love the play from G2, walking up there, even though they lose the spike because the cutesy little Omen ult to pick it up and take it back towards the site, because playing out each of these rounds, even when they get a little bit more chaotic, like with that flank coming in.
Spike retrieved.
For Guild, they found where they want to be going, it looks like. A site is the perpetual destination. Avoid Mimi, avoid Petra, but you can already see the rotations early. Now this should reveal double stack towards Tree, does not catch the one towards Heaven, but Glance still going to hold the ground, but it's a well-traded entry. Guild crack back in, and look at the support system on that. The flash, everything set into motion. And now towards Heaven, trades again, and effective numbers for Guild. Left in a 3v2, just Petra and Mimi to try and play this one back in, but Petra and Mimi are on a heater here, and there's
finally the lockdown. Finally get to see it come out. 2 players working through Tree. I mean, that's a triple for Mimi, and time is the enemy of Ness. She has to push to get this kill, but there's just no time left. 1 second, can't get the TP. That's going to be a push for the kill. Petra will get that one to tie things out at the end of the half.
All right, they stabilized here, because I felt like Guild started to find that form here in that A side, pressuring towards Tree. The early rotations and had started to work out. You saw how quickly Mimi was over towards this. It started to look much different as the side switch. Now, could be a bit more comfortable for Guild on this side, technically, than, having some of those flaws potentially in the composition. But I gotta say, I like Guild for this side. I feel like maybe this is their best chance yet. I don't know, maybe... I'm on the hopium. I don't know, because I like a back and forth series. I'd love to see Pearl between these two, because Guild have been happy to float it and play it. Like they're happy to put that out there. That's not been too much of a surprise. It's obviously the G2 who had been taking it out was the more interesting factor. They've left that open for map 3, but maybe not thinking they'd get there. But now it's 6 apiece. Gonna be a little different.
Very surprised to see Ness with a Sheriff here, so just the one smoke, can't get those repeats going, and Juliano just absolutely takes her head off. Roxy, though, on a different level, the TP above ends up shutting her down, but it's still good. A 3v3 for the post plant.
I mean, maybe atoning for a little of those sins. Juliano just backhands. But you're right, Roxy bails him out from what was looking like an unrecoverable scenario. Now, Petra, biding her time a little here.
Problem is they weren't able to close the door, right? So, and now you can actually see Guild getting faked out a bit. Like, wait, were they walking into B? What's going on here? But no, they hear the plant come through. Now they got the recharge of the smoke. That's what they were waiting for. aNNja finds that molly. That's going to be important to actually be able to split back into the site and put pressure on Mimi over towards Generator.
Yeah, the double stack towards Hell is brutal, though. Can they try and break this open? Smurfette, aNNja stepping in. Great shot, but Mimi did have that Sheriff. So, again, just overpowering, smiting them down. G2 of OP. It's unfair, man. But I want to see what Guild do with this. They've got 3, and then you can have the Headhunter on Smurfette, and they're walking middle. Show me something.
Funny, because on attack, they really didn't do a lot of early mid-aggression, but Guild on the second round, walking on forward. G2 playing very deep outside of B main as well, and a smart drone waiting 20 seconds, expecting aggression from somewhere. There it is. They spot that out, but now are a little bit lost, because do you cross into B main? Do you rotate all the way towards A? G2 making the call to go for that A hit, but already this walk up on Cat, the timing could be brutal.
There it is. Nice shot from aNNja. Takes out Glance. Big information, too. I mean, that's 3 players. That's not exactly telling us if they're going to go barrel straight towards A or maybe look back towards middle, but already you can see G2 now considering their options, and they're walking right into the stack. There's 4 players here. This is the perfect adjustment. aNNja now going to receive that information and now note that this is the right call, and Juliano puts their life on the line for the secondary player, which is Mary. Perfect combination and lovely synergy between the two, but they're not out of the woods just yet. There's still 3 players, and they're in the right place here. Smurfette couldn't find any more. Tried the best that she could achieve, and now it's on Roxy. Does have a Sheriff and a 1v3. 2 players tucked towards his side. Near on impossible to come back in these positions. See what she can work out. Not going to happen. Mary, lovely angle, but again, the little synergy off Cat there, and it was lovely. Okay, now the buy, what do they have left over? There's still that Bulldog, I guess, for Juliano, but beyond that, yeah, it's the Spectres and Sheriff, so not as threatening in the bonus. Yeah, so similar scenes to what we saw before, right? So if it plays true to trend, Guild should comfortably do well here. Let's have a little look. G2 exploring middle. Juliano on a little bit of an island, but not particularly, too much of a problem this round. Able to do a little something. Prowler not quite making it as far as they potentially want, but they look like they want to address this fast, and the timing could have been disastrous then. But actually, Ness saving the day, keeping them alive here. And you can see the want to try and hunt them down, but Guild being quite proactive in this round, not really sitting back and being dictated to, but happy to take a couple of challenges here and there.
Yeah, they've definitely liked Roxy going for these sort of like early sage walls, or maybe 10, 20 seconds into a round, popping those down and then pinching in towards mid. Works so well for them. Glance repositioning TPs straight into the crosshair of Smurfette. Not what you want to be doing. Didn't know that player was going to be there, of course. And now Mimi, probably not long for this world either. Play for orbs. That's the best you can do if you can get a kill or something. Try to get up towards that lockdown. But with 25 seconds, you are heading in. But wait,
Powers up.
That's a rifle. Okay.
Play for orb solved. We did it. We did it.
Genuinely, though, this is the one to be looking towards. This is the imperative one. Yes, a couple of caveats, obviously, to the Guild purchase after the couple of rounds we've had here, but only 1 light armor, I think, actually made it through to this point. So they've spread the wealth well enough and already proactive on the defending side. Another part of the list that I love seeing, already being achieved. They want to take that A main control, prop up someone like Smurfette early. Okay, you can take that. We can start now leaning around the rest of the map.
Three players working up towards mid. Was trying to use a slow orb, I think, to hear someone make a footstep running away, but now they know everyone's here. Roxy can't find the first kill, and G2 just crush it in B main as well. The site belongs to them, as three players working on the retake don't have great tools to actually go for it. They may test their luck here through market, but B main control retained for G2. 4 players on site with lane as well. Gonna be very hard for Gil to break through here.
Oh, it would need mistakes to happen, I feel, but yeah, no prowlers for Klaudia. I guess Ness has some utility to invest, right? Still got the paranoia, still got a smoke. Next one's up in 15 seconds, probably not got the time for this, but the paranoia can at least clear somewhat close and that first box. So Glance will be the only one to really be affected by it. And yeah, they've decided it's better to keep these weapons. Probably the right call as well. You have 3 still here, and I mean, it's the right choice.
Yeah, the call would be different, I think, if there was more of an aggressive challenge for G2. Sure. You know, if they were peeking market from stairs or lane. That's why they walked market in the first place. Hey, if we can get 1 or 2 kills, then that gives us options. But smartly, after no one peeks for about 10 seconds, end up calling that one off, go into the next round. That's totally all right. Unfortunately for Guild,
digits hit for the other team, and then money's gonna start looking really robust. Already seeing 4.9, 4.1, 4.8. Starting to get there. The ult cycle, really good place as well for G2. Again, if this round they're unable to get much out of it or extrapolate the information they need, I feel like they need to hit the brakes on it. But I like this. A little bit of a different look here, but with that KJ turret, it should be identified. And with all of this proactivity drawing towards middle, towards A, B's completely open. So G2,
look how G2 are playing this as well.
Yeah.
Look, and 2 players like in spawn, expecting the rotation to come in with no one playing on B. You expect multi-flank as Juliano goes that crazy market push, pushes CT, pushes market. Maybe she pushes back into CT off the flash as well. Juliano is feeling it. That's exactly what she's doing. Dancing around this smoke here, getting the knife as well. Knows 2 players are here. She gets the push, almost makes it a 4K on the round. Juliano just playing with her food.
And I think the difference in my mind when I watch G2 play is just it's the synergy between the players. Strategy-wise, yeah, fantastic. You can see the theory to it. You can see it, but they fight as a 5, right? It's always good trades, great spacing. It's the fundamentals that they really shine at, in my mind. And Guild, I mean, mechanically, hell, you've seen Roxy doing, you've seen Klaudia have these rounds, and yet every single one of them mechanically are nuts. It's that little bit of synergy that Klaudia, and then just what 4 sheriffs, really? Like it's really not much.
Yeah, gonna test their luck doubling up A and B main. Honestly, the awkward thing about playing Sage on Ascent, on attack, gives you a lot of really good opportunities to either wall in the post plant or peer over smokes, peer into B main. But usually on other Sage maps, things like Icebox in particular, that Sage wall in defense is mostly a post plant tool. Sort of like buy you a full stick plant, but that requires it to be a map where the attacking team likes to play offsite, which just isn't the case on Ascent. On B, you have to play like 4 on site usually. On A as well, you have to put players Hell, Generator, maybe you have 1 or 2 players A main. The Sage wall just doesn't have that same value in the post plant, so it's harder to play for retake. And yet, if you wall super early into a round, then the attacking team can time it out. So I like this. 55 seconds is when that B main Sage wall goes down. That'll break it 15 seconds left on the clock. Those types of walls, when the attacking team plays slow, can offer you a ton of value. And already sending G2 into change their minds. They're gonna split over in towards A.
It's perfect. They pulled all this attention, right? Off the back of the trade, Petra's still alive, puts in a bit more utility, reveals 2 players. They know how close that Omen Paranoia comes swinging in from. Mimi just needs to play alive. If she can stay alive, she holds the keys to the kingdom, right? She makes it such a problem to try and rotate. And now they have to clear her, so he's still buying some precious couple of seconds as the plants already come in. G2 just manipulating Guild perfectly in whatever image they want. Now, can they hold the post plant? Let's find out. Yes, there's a little bit of chip damage done, and we do see 2 rifles now in the hand of Guild, so Roxy able to recover 1 from somewhere. Now G2 with the double stack towards Hell. Hard to break, but not impossible. They still have the players for it. Utility-wise, not looking ideal, though, and now here come the players. Great work from Ness to take out Mary. aNNja's got Glance, and now it's all on towards Mimi, and the HP is dreary. 9 HP is all she's got, and the position, it should have been noted. The deep nade comes in, the defuse begins. That's glorious work from Guild. The time's a little tight, but it's fine. A couple seconds to spare, and they work it out. G2 being overwhelmed on the retake.
And going over towards that A side. I think unfortunately for Guild, they have the Omen ult and the Sage ult, which sometimes hard to actually find reliable reses on defense, especially if G2 were committing very heavily towards one site and not playing the spread out style, looking for early picks, which G2 4 already over towards A, but they have to break this tree hold. Omen and KO holding hands, a tale as old as time on Ascent tree, but dude, not even gonna want to test that. Backing up immediately and dodging away from the op shot.
They get towards the site though. Already Juliano's gone down, glances in. Petra's done some work from further afield, takes out Ness, so it's back to a what, 4v4 now. Spike yet to cross, but it should make its way there. Actually, aNNja can slip a little ahead of this. Does she try to exploit this? Still has a flash, could have underhanded it. Decides not to, and rightly so. Punishing Mimi and Mary. It's now down to just Petra and Glance. And the position not ideal for Petra, but still makes something of it.
She's ulting back into A main. I love this. Play double in A main now. There's so much time on the clock. They're going to have to fight into this. The drone coming out to scout this one through.
They're not going to. They need to swing this one. That aim stop finally gets blocked in. Cinnamon. Perfect play coming out from Klaudia there. And the defuse didn't stop at all. Full faith coming in at the end there. But again,
got very chaotic very quickly for G2 because of that early mid peak from Ness that resulted in a kill for Guild, and ends up costing them a bit of the round there too. Comes down to a 2 versus 2, but Guild a bit better in that one, shutting down those A main players. And G2 working again into this 2-2 over towards the A side, going for the exact same look here, except committing into tree this time.
Double stack in place though, and way more prepared. Guild get it locked down. That timeout has paid dividends and then some. This is exactly what the doctor ordered. Now, for the rest of G2 though, A site's theirs, but could they hold the retake? That's the tricky part.
Yeah.
Still the lockdown though, so maybe a couple more seconds could be purchased here.
That's the thing. They had the lockdown last round, ended up getting pushed through tree and died trying to plant the spike. That was the post-plant tool they needed. Glance getting so aggressive, pushing into the smoke. That's 2 kills, make it a third. G2 opening the round up, but it's 2-on-2 now. And Ness just buying time for Roxy to get here over towards heaven.
And that little outplay, that little over-delivery has given G2 another chance at this.
30 seconds
Aren't
left.
going to come down. Lockdown still here. This is very much in the forefront of my mind if they want to do it, but it's just this double walk out towards heaven. Mimi's going to slip towards hell, but none the wiser. They are out towards side. They can see a great deal of this. And they're above Mimi. Had no idea. And now Glance has to pull off something heroic here. Put on the cape and get ready. As already she's done so much, but 15 HP just ain't much to work with. And it's Roxy on the other side. And the angle, it was decent, but it was not good enough. And Roxy just about pulling this one back, all even at 10 apiece.
Oh, good attempt there by Glance once it turns into the 1 versus 2. But what a close game, always coming down to these even match numbers at the end. 1v1, 2v2 the round before, a couple of times in a row, and making it happen. Still, I have to say, like, this aggressive push once the round, because it was cooked. It was a 2v5.
Yeah.
And Glance goes to that aggressive heaven push, almost saves the entire round there for G2. I feel like we need to see this lockdown come through. Mimi spent the entire last half, used it in the very final round, and Mimi has been having a fantastic game. She has been performing very well. But we've seen 1 lockdown in 20 rounds. That could be a difference maker here in the post plant, just to buy time, to add distraction. Smurfette sees the gun.
And now we wait. I mean, you could just prowler it. I don't know if they saw. Did they see? Yeah, they're picking it up. They're picking it up. And Ness has just destroyed everyone on the other side of the map. So it's fine. We're good.
It seems illegal that Cinnamon got that kill, and not a Smurfette on that one.
Okay, hold on. It is Petra, right? So I'm gonna put it out there. Petra is one of those players that, for some reason, could make this happen. She wants another pick, but you can see instantly Guild know what's up. Double stack towards the back of tree. They are so aware that Petra wants a pick. Like, obviously it's the right thing. You want to try and bring it down to the most reasonable amount of numbers you can, and has plenty of time to play with. What did she do with this? Has to give away a little of the game hit. And what plan does she go for? Nothing particularly special about it at this point, and they're going to close the gap towards heaven now. Obviously none the wiser. aware of the possibility. Gonna note that. Does not get seen by it, but still quite indicative she could be towards hell. Makes light work of one and no trade. This is starting to become a little bit more of a problem. There we go. Double face. All fine. All good. You're gonna get the defuse, and Guild take the lead.
I saw it for a second. The top movement over towards this B site early on have played pretty reserved for it. And again, I think that's going to be the same idea. Mimi just sort of playing that B main hold for any aggression, while the rest of the team maybe challenges in mid. I do believe that knife saw Smurfette in mid, and Petra was holding for it down from Rosa. Gets that kill, and now with mid softened up, I think a B split could look really nice for them. As Guild sort of hit the panic button, have to figure out what exactly. Has there been any push? What's going on there? We don't know.
We don't. Juliano going towards Cinnamon, aka Klaudia. And Cinnamon, aka Klaudia, is the one to come out on top. And already Petra, though, still be taking the fight towards Cat, but expecting the push coming through middle, but Cinnamon outdoes it. So already we're down to a 3v2. And Klaudia running away with it. It's Ness by the side, but and instantly, where have these picks come from? How have we got to this scenario? Glance over here now, 3 players tucked towards B. We're going to have all the utility poured in. The beauty of having that KJ late into a post plant. Ness has her work cut out.
Is that a one-way? No, I believe that's just a normal smoke coming down here from Glance. And there's an alarm bot on lane. There's a molly on stairs. Like, Ness has to go through everything here to actually get onto this site, and just makes a makeshift Viper ult as those smokes kind of line up on top of each other. Tries to test it, but that alarm bot is right on the opposite side. Is revealed, and playing for some kills here. Remove some of those guns, and Mimi's not even going to let that happen. Retains full armor through it all. Also, doesn't have to use the ultimate because it was just a bloodbath in mid. Guild have actually gone for these like mid-round.
Broken the money now. I thought Guild might have had a little more in the bank. Oh, Lord. G2, man, don't do this to him. Don't get the bags back out. Because I gotta say, Icebox to me, it's not raps, but you know what I mean? Like, this to me is like a 60-40, 50-50. But Icebox, I just put it into their hands. But,
yeah.
Oh, man, what do they do? Klaudia needs to be in the right place. The same with aNNja. They're gonna have aNNja there. Klaudia a little far off, and there you go. Finally, we see it invested.
And it's smart too, knowing the buy is going to be very scuffed from Guild. You got to clear all the close angles. Hell, the only thing you really have to worry about. But null command out as well. Everything is coming in. G2 are forcing an OT here.
Yeah. Trying to maybe bait in someone to overheat towards heaven with a pre-fire, and you're out of it now. Plant should be able to come in, but a potential 5v5 post-plant. Again, late round utility pretty nice. There it is, and you're going to pop the ult. High flash should come through. You're going to have everything poured in, but Mary over-delivers. Finds Klaudia and Ness over by tree, and that's instantly quelled the numbers. The double stack to Hotel paying off, and G2 looking just large and in charge. It's 12 for them now. Finally, that pedigree kicks in.
But one thing to keep in mind, if we do see an A plant again, last round Juliano went for this very late reflank down Cat into tree room. When it gets very tight, and Guild are working on those re-hits, or those retakes rather. They've looked very strong on A, but we haven't seen, that was the first time we saw a reflank down Cat. If Juliano makes that work again, could catch Guild off by surprise and just end this one out 13-11.
It's so much is just resting on the shoulders of this double stack towards Cat. You're absolutely right on this one. Ness and aNNja make it just Ness. Now there's support through middle. Smurfette tries to make it there, but the paranoia comes in and blinds them both. And now it's looking rough around the edges. Klaudia and Roxy, 2 stars in their own right. And again, Klaudia, no stranger to knowing what it's like playing against Juliano, Mimi, Petra. Part of this scene for years, where the players are really broke in. Now Juliano waiting. Roxy noted, Glance turns. The slow progress in the backlines from Klaudia couldn't come any quicker. She has to buy her time. Roxy finds Juliano, but doesn't know Glance. And it's an effective trade out, leaving it all in the hands of Klaudia in a 1v2. Spots the first, but the smoke goes up. This is brutal. How do you make it through this now? Do you have any utility, anything to play with? I mean, just a season. You're hoping for the best double face, and it's done. It's a 13-11 on map 1. And this is heartbreak again. Teased, toyed with, played with, and that almost...